Hey everybody, welcome to Passive Money. I'm Kirby, that's Alex. Today we're talking about something that interests Alex. He gave me a call today and said, hey, let's do a video on this topic. So Alex, what's topic you got?
So the topic is when should you leave or quit your job, or when is a good time to leave your job based off of like when you're starting to build passive income or cash flow outside of your
Uh,
work.
okay, I got it. It's no different strokes for different folks. Different strokes for different folks. I mean, some people, let's say maybe you're 20 years old or something like that, and then you just you're in a rush to get out of the rat race. And
Right.
then the first thing, if you're single, the first thing, and you only got to take care of yourself, I would say 1.5 times the income that you're making now. If you're younger, about 1.5 times the income. And the reason why I'm saying 1.5 is because the one, you're already used to your lifestyle being like that. Okay. And then the 0.5 is the extra capital you need to keep growing the business to make more income, more income. Of course, if you use a rental property or you're selling goods online, inflation, you could raise the rents or you could raise the cost of goods also. But you still need that capital so you can start building that nut again to deploy it to, i.e., buy another rental property. Maybe use that nut to buy another business or start another business or what have you. So you keeping moving on. Like people get this misconception that passive income, yeah, you can sit there and do nothing, but it's getting boring doing nothing, especially when you're in your 20s and 30s and all your friends at work and you're sitting there by yourself. You're just sitting there looking like, what is it to do? You want to go hang out at the beach, call your friends. No, I'm at work. And then, it sounds good to tell everybody, oh, yeah, I'm just sitting at home doing nothing. I'm retired. I do my own thing. But the truth of it is, no matter what you do, you will still be working. You're just not working for somebody else.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. I mean, like I know I had asked you this question before, and and we had talked about this recently, and I said, like right now I'm probably matching it to the point where if I left, I could just pay my bills. But really, like, what is that? Like, that's just like basic retirement. Like, you just don't work, don't do anything, you're just paying bills. Um, and that isn't where I want to be. And, obviously I would like to surpass that 1.5 before, say, I leave my job. But especially like now, like, I mean, I enjoy working at the company I work at, you know what I mean? So like you said as well, you've said before is, it's different when you
It's
have to
different.
go to when you want to go to work. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you're working because you
Absolutely.
want to work. And I truly enjoy where I work. I mean, great team that I work with. The job is, straightforward, simple. And there's a lot that I learned from the job that I can see how I can use that knowledge to apply to things that I'm doing outside of work, in my other income fields. And,
Right.
it's just all an experience. I mean, eventually I don't want to, be employed or an employee, my whole life, or make this a career or anything. But for the time being, I can see how it can be an advantage to me, as well as, continuing to use my earned income and invest that into my portfolio and see my passive income grow from that. And, down the road, I'd like to at least, my idea was double or triple uh, my earned income at work and passive income before, making that decision of, do I want to stay here or do I want to leave? But that's just
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Two things that you said. It's a different dynamic. People that go to work because they have to, and people that go to work just because they want to. You show up to work different. Yeah, I mean, the sky's bubbly. Everything looks good when you showing up to work just because you want to. When you have to, it's just, oh man, I'm here. And you're just doing it because most people are just slave to the debt. So
right.
they wanted all this stuff, so they got all this debt. So they have to work to pay off the debt to get the stuff. Now, the second part of that is 1.5. I was talking about somebody that was single. Single, 1.5 times your income. If you're married, and let's say kids or plan on having kids in the future, I say it's about 3 times. It's about 3 times. And the reason why is you're going to cover you and your spouse income. So that's the one. And then, of course, you're going to have extra things, kids, medical costs, all that stuff. So that's the second layer. Then you need the other third. So 1, 2, 3 times that other third still to keep on building out businesses or acquiring property. I mean, as you know, there is stuff all around where you can get properties for, no money down if you know creative financing and all that. But I'm just talking about straight, straight, hey, having a nut to put 20% down on a single family property, 25% down on a multifamily property, or if you use a non-QM mortgage, 30% down to, grab investment properties. Just to, you want to keep having an income so you can keep building up that nut to deploy it again to acquire more properties, because inflation is still going to affect you no matter if you actively get income or passively get income. Of course, you're going to raise your rents, and for you, you have the online business, you're going to raise the cost of your products up. So it gets more. The more people you have in the house, the more income you need. So you want to start scaling it up there. But the big part of that is time for me. So the number is good as far as, hey, what number you need to get to, but me is time. There's no way I will spend 8 hours working at a job or creating somebody else's how do they call it? Creating somebody else's,
Living
making
legacy.
somebody else's dreams come true. Yeah. Making somebody else's dreams come true. And I'm not spending 8 hours making my dream come true. The more time you spend on creating your business and growing your business, then the faster you get to that number. And then once you get to that number, it's totally up to, you and your spouse, or if it's you by yourself, it's only up to you. You can walk away whenever you want to. But when you start, bringing other elements in, like, wife, kid and stuff, you need a little bit more money, more gap, because, because there's more people to worry about and think about to, you got to cover that. And you don't know it yet, but kids are expensive and they savages, so they'll take every dime you got. So you better make sure you got some extra. You make sure you got some extra coming in, because they coming for that too. But yeah, but that's simply how it works. It's just your number is based on, the lifestyle that you want to live. And then, let's say I'm working at a job and I'm making 50,000 a year. If I can get my passive income up to, 70 net and 75,000 a year, then yeah, I can walk away from the job if I'm single. If I'm married and our household income is $50,000 a year, the household income. So I will wait till probably I'm making about 150,000 a year net before I walk away. It gives you that cushion and still give me that, nut to keep on buying properties every year. And then, of course, if you choose to go that route, and another reason why I'm saying, elevated higher than the take home pay you're making now is because usually people, the take home pay that they make from work, that pays all their bills and they have a little bit of money at the end of the month. If you go to, cash flow wise, you will just be paying your bills. So you want extra above that. So, you can do what people that don't have to go to a job do. Like, hey, you can go on vacation when you want to. You can go do other things. Of course, don't go, crazy and spend the money that you're supposed to use to reinvest. But besides that, that's all you need. But again, it's up to every individual person, the lifestyle they want to live. And I'm all for it. And if you decide to get to that number and you still want to work because you just figure you're going to be bored as hell, then stay working. But it's a different lifestyle from having to go to work and just going because you want to.
And I think that's a good basis too. Like, at what income level passively can you decide, hey, when am I going to leave? But I've also like talked to some people that, they have other businesses outside of their day job, and it gets so busy and the income is coming in heavier and heavier on their outside businesses, where it's like you're kind of losing money going to your day job than just focusing your full time on what you have, on your businesses or your investments. And I think that's also another point where people can think to themselves, like, you just have to evaluate your time. Like, where is your time more valued? Is it
Right.
is it even worth you going to your 9 to 5, or should you just leave because your businesses really need your attention?
A lot of that is the reason why people still go to work in the scenario that you're talking about, and they're making, 5, 6, 7x. more, and they should spend more time on their outside business because it's just working way more and it don't make financial sense for them to spend 8 hours, is because they programmed into the American system that you need to work for somebody else.
Right.
And I see it all the time where people, they have the money and then their family or, spouse or somebody's telling them, oh no, you have to have a job. Who's going to pay for your insurance? I know you heard that one before.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay for your insurance? Well, if you have the money, you can pay for your own insurance. So, but for me, it's all about time allocation. Like I said, if I'm spending 8 hours at a job, I'm at least spending 10 hours every day. If I'm giving 8 hours to somebody else, I'm going to at least give 10 hours to myself to keep growing my business. And then I don't even care with that 8 hours I have. If I have to start eating into that 8 hours to keep growing my business, then I'll do that. But when it comes to that time spectrum, it's just the time spectrum alone and not money. When you don't have enough time in your day to deal with the 9 to 5 job, that's when it should walk away. So number wise, I gave you one number wise and I gave you one time wise. So if you spend 8 hours at your job and then you're growing your business and now your business need 12, 15, 16 hours, unless you don't plan on sleeping, then it might be time to start cutting and shaving and cutting and shaving, and then eventually give up that job. If the business is producing cash flow that will put you over the top, that is putting you over the top and is making way more money, then I wouldn't deal with a job. But if it's just number wise, it's 1.5 for single, 3x if you're married, but time wise is focusing on the business, and then your 9 to 5 job is taken up from you contributing more to the business, and the business is making more money than the main job, then it's time to start walking away from the main job.
Right. And that's a good point too, because like so many people are concerned about staying at their job, and like the people at your company, maybe the higher ups or your bosses or whatever, may tell you, or may speak to you like your job is more important than your assets or your businesses or your business or whatever that you have outside of your job. But really, which one is going to give you freedom in life? And the way they may talk to you, in that form is because to them, that's their only income. So to them, that being their only income, it's so important, but they don't understand how you have another income. And there shouldn't be any excuses for anyone. I think, like you mentioned with the insurance, like it's funny how even when you have a job, I mean, unless there's a company out there, but every company I've heard of that offers health insurance, they still charge you the health insurance. I
Right,
mean,
right.
and it's not like at a cheaper rate or a discount rate. It's like the same prices that you would pay getting private insurance. So, in that case, it's like, why would that even be an excuse? Even with like retirement accounts, like a lot of people, I think, get confused with like the 401k, where they think that you can only have a retirement account working for somebody, and that it's
No.
beneficial working for somebody because they're going to match your retirement account. But really, the match is nice, it's a good bonus, but what's important is the money you're putting into that account and what you're investing in for your retirement, which you can do in a traditional IRA or Roth IRA.
Yeah, if you have a self-directed 401k or IRA or whatever, because you're a business owner, you can set up your business to have your business as an expense match the contribution to the 401k. You can still do it. So you can still get a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA with the business that you own yourself. So there's really nothing that the business is doing that you can't do as a business owner. But the key is it has to be a business that's actually generating revenue exponentially or generating profits, So that's just something that you have to deal with.
Right.
But a job itself doesn't secure you any way, shape, or form, because when you ask the question about which one will make you more financially secure, the job could turn around tomorrow and fire you.
Right.
You got to fire yourself if you want to, if you want your business to stop. I
Right.
mean, that's why it's more financially secure, like we talked about in the video or the short that we did. Who is more safer in a recession, the owner or the employee? The owner is more safer in a recession because the owner can do the employee job. The employee can't do the owner's job. So that's just something or a dynamic that they have to look at, or you have to look at it. You know, you're thinking about walking away. I know that that's not your case, but for people that are
Right.
watching, that is something you have to sit there and look at, do the numbers, do the time. But the key is putting in the work. You will always have to put in more work for yourself than you do for somebody else. And no, I mean, and of course, you can't go to work saying, "Oh, my business is more important than than what I'm doing here." You can't do that. You can't do that.
Right.
And a lot of people want to, "Oh, well, I got a business, so I need to cut 3 hours out of my day." But then when they get off of work, they're just sitting on the couch, vegging out, doing nothing. You got to use up all that time after you get off work to grow that business. And then once that time is used up, because of course you need about 2 hours of sleep to operate or whatever. But once all that time used up, and then you have to start going into your 9 to 5 job hours, that's probably when it's time to walk away, especially if the business on the other side is growing exponentially. Now, if it's only making $2 a month, then you might need a new business model or do something else. But besides that, if you're growing your portfolios out there and you getting the revenue, you're getting the cash flow that meets your objective, then what you doing? You don't have to be there if you don't want to. If you want to be there, I salute to you. I'm not gonna Robert Kiyosaki it and say, oh, if you got a job, you're worthless or you crazy. I'm just saying you don't have to. You don't have to, do that. But Robert Kiyosaki is right. Having a job make you pay more taxes if you don't understand the loopholes around it. And most people can't use all those loopholes because they need the money to actually live off of, and that's why they have to get taxed because they're bringing the money in house.
Yeah, I think one of the most important things you had told me, this was probably 2 years ago, but you had said, um, rather than climb the ladder, why don't you create your own ladder? And it goes a long way with that.
Yeah, I agree with you. But now that was a good question, man. So anybody that want to talk about this subject, comment down there. I can't even get on screen. There you go. Comment down there in the comment section. Put it down there in the comment section. Please hit the like and subscribe button because we want to get our message out to as many people as possible. Just click, and everything else will take care of itself. But we sitting out here, spending our time, energy, and money to create this content for you. The least we ask is you to hit those 2 buttons for free to pay us back in return. With all that being said, thanks for watching Passing Money. We'll see you on the next video.
See you guys.